I've got a couple of stores that are talking about doing some Hispanic marketing, and I've got probably maybe 8 stores that are actually doing Hispanic, some campaigns specifically for Hispanic marketing. And there's a few ways to kind of navigate, to make sure you have the optimum opportunity for success with those campaigns. The first one being is making sure that you have the landing pages that you're directing the traffic to, that you have some semblance of either a translation feature, or preferably that you're sending them to at least a landing page, if not a whole website that is in Spanish, that you're pointing out your Spanish speaking sales reps or service reps, and that the experience is pretty seamless, not only from the marketing campaigns, because you don't want to attract people in with Spanish keywords or Spanglish keywords, however you want to break that up, and then they get to the website and there's nothing in Spanish. So if you don't have that infrastructure behind it, you can't just arbitrarily set up some campaigns and think, oh, okay, I'm good, I can set up some campaigns, I'm all good in search, and think they're going to perform well. There really needs to be more for it. So where I'm seeing the most success is when you combine display or OTT and social with your search campaigns. Now, not everybody has the budget for all of those. So if you're going to, I don't have $2,500 to spend on all those campaigns, maybe you have $500 or $1,000. Spend it on social and display, or social and OTT, because that seems to convert at a better rate than just a search campaign. And the most key important part of this whole thing is making sure that you have the infrastructure set up for those campaigns to go to. So you have landing pages, you have the website, like I said before, because you could do all of that. You could have all the right keywords and you can have everything set up perfectly. But if the experience breaks down when they're coming to the website or the landing pages or wherever you're sending them, then it's pretty much all for naught. So before you even go down the road of, well, I have X amount of budget towards Spanish campaigns that I need to start, before you even have that conversation with your search vendor, look at your website. And I actually had this conversation with a couple of stores, a couple of Chevy stores last week, and they had made so many updates, and they actually had changed website providers, and they'd had so much stuff that had happened to update their digital marketing program, platforms, whatever you want to call it. They had not included anything for Spanish speakers, and it was actually in a very highly Hispanic area. So a highly densely populated Hispanic area. So the general manager is the general manager for both those stores. He actually said, okay, I'm going to set up this on my end to see if we can track better conversions. And because they're doing all the things they need to be doing, they just, the whole experience broke down when you got to the website, because we just weren't seeing the conversions, and we had tweaked a couple of things in the campaigns to optimize, and nothing was working. And finally, I just went and looked at his website. He didn't have anything on there that said they spoke Spanish at the dealership. And he's like, that's crazy. We all speak Spanish. Like, every one of my service advisors, my sales reps. I'm like, well, it's like nowhere on your site that anybody speaks Spanish. So, and there's no translation feature on your site. There's no individual landing page to your Spanish speaking customers. There's nothing about that. I go, is there any other languages that we need to identify here on your website too? Like, is it just Spanish, or is there another language that's prevalent in the community that the store's in that we need to highlight on the website? And he said, well, it's pretty much Spanish, and I don't remember the other one, but Spanish was the one we were talking about for his paid advertising campaign, so we stuck with that. So whatever language you're trying to do paid campaigns in, I mean, you're not going to generate the market interest for it, but just by throwing a bunch of money at paid advertising for that particular medium. So unless you have the infrastructure set up properly. So I would really highly encourage you, before you start yelling at your paid vendors, to oh my goodness, to look internally at your website, make sure that the attributions are set up properly, make sure, that the navigation is set up properly to where you have a landing page with identifying who your sales and service reps are that speak that language, clicks to the inventory, clicks to schedule service, things like that actually make sense, to have for a customer to generate business. Because it's all for naught if you don't. But anyway, that's all I got for this week. Happy selling.